Hello, I'm Mana from Japan. When I left for Vancouver in 2010, I was a student at university in Japan. And I had made up my mind to become an English teacher after graduation. I wanted to be fluent in English. I wanted to know how to teach English in English. I wanted to meet different people. In ILSC, I took academic preparation and public speaking. I was not so good at public speaking, but my teachers and classmates inspired me a lot. And little by little, I got better at speaking.
You will get something sweet.
While studying in ILSC, I made many friends from Korea, Taiwan, Brazil, Mexico, Spain, Italy, France, and more. I still keep in touch with some of them even after a decade since we met. I also made Japanese friends in Vancouver. However, I try not to use Japanese even when we were all Japanese in a group because I was there to practice English skill, and this thought helped me improve thinking English and speaking English too. Vancouver is a great city to stay. This city never gets you bored for 3 reasons. First, they have many kinds of food. My friends and I enjoyed going to different kinds of restaurants from all over the world. Second, it has many kinds of nature. They have mountains and beaches, rain and snow, and flowers and animals. Third, they have interesting events and parades. I saw Canada Day Parade and Pride Day Parade. I also enjoyed going on a trip to Rocky Mountains and Victoria Island. What I liked most about staying in Canada was to study in Greystone College. The 3 months TESOL program kept me quite busy because I had to read a lot and I had a lot of homework. But I'm very grateful that it taught me many useful things. Studying in ILSC and Greystone College made it possible for me to become an English teacher.
The reason why I had really great time in Greystone College for 3 months is the people are really great.
And there was another life-changing event in Vancouver. I met someone very special who also studied in ILSC. Now, let me introduce you Yussel from Mexico, my classmate in Greystone College and my husband.
Hello, my name is Yussel. I used to be a student at ILSC 12 years ago.
I feel nervous when I have the camera in front of me.
Oh, really? You're shy.
I first arrived at ILSC in the year 2009, and my original plan was to stay there only 2 months. Before going to ILSC, I was just planning to graduate university and then find my life in Mexico. But staying in ILSC definitely changed my life. Once the lessons started, I was already enjoying the dynamic of ILSC, right? Getting to know new people. And one of the most interesting things at the beginning was that I was staying at a homestay. It was a Canadian family with a background from Philippines. My homestay family would often invite me to some different activities on the weekend, and I had such a good time that I kind of fell in love. I fell in love of the lifestyle. I fell in love of the cultural exchange, of the friends, of the country, the city, the school, everything. So I decided to extend another 2 months to my original plan. My favorite part was hanging out with friends. It would be very unique because one day I will be hanging out with people from Taiwan, one day I will be hanging out with Koreans, one day I will be hanging out with Japanese or Latin Americans or many different countries, and some days we were all mixed together and using English as a way of communicating. We would have fun in different activities, going snowboarding, going to the park, going to the beach. One of the things I noticed when I was in Vancouver, it was one of my favorite things, helping other classmates to understand their notes or the language itself. my stay in Vancouver was already 4 months, and unbeknownst to me, the Olympic Games of Vancouver 2010 were coming, and I had no idea about them. So I decided to extend once more. Luckily, I found a volunteership during the Olympics for the Coca-Cola company. I got this very big sense of achievement, this feeling of I'm accomplishing something really good, something big. By the end of the 6 months, I felt I had found the best version of me. I was more confident, I was wiser, I was more talented in many different skills, I was happier. Then it was all over. I went back to Mexico, finished my university graduation. I tried to adapt again to the Mexican lifestyle, but I couldn't. And I made another plan. I said I want to go to another country this time. I was planning to go to Japan, but to get to Japan, I needed some kind of special skill, because if I wanted to find a job in Japan, I needed a special skill that will get me there. Obviously, the answer was to become an English teacher. I went back to Vancouver. I studied a little bit in ILSC, and the rest of my study was in Greystone College. I took a working holiday plan. That means I study half work for a total of about 8 months. Now, it was during this course that I fell in love again. But this time I fell in love with the love of my life, Mana. We met when we were studying together in the Greystone College TESOL diploma, and she invited me to hang out with her friends, and little by little we noticed that there was this chemistry between us, and I noticed that I wanted to be with her longer. Unfortunately, she came back to Japan because her entire studying abroad plan was over. So I stayed in Canada another 6 months without her. That was probably the hardest part of my stay in Canada. Not the language, not the work, but being away from her. During that time, I found 3 different jobs. I worked as an English tutor. I also worked in a Mexican restaurant. And finally, my favorite job, I was working as a hot dog vendor in the stadium, in the soccer stadium of Vancouver. So after the 8 months of my second stay in Vancouver, my whole plan was getting to an end. I left from Vancouver and I came to Japan. It's been 10 years I've been living in Japan. After 2 or 3 years of staying in Japan, Mana and I got married, and now we have 2 beautiful children. My life in Japan has been a completely different adventure. That's a completely different story, right? But I'm definitely thankful to ILSC for helping me find the most confident version of myself. If it wasn't for ILSC, I wouldn't be here where I am right now. I wouldn't have the job that I have. I know my plans completely changed, but one of the things I learned at ILSC is that your home will always be there, wherever you're from, and traveling abroad it's a unique experience that makes you richer, not only culturally but also mentally. It is challenging, but it is something I would recommend to anybody.
I enjoy telling my students about my experience in Vancouver, and many times they ask me which country is good to study abroad. Then my answer is always, you should go to Canada.
I hope you have a nice experience if you adventure yourself into ILSC, and don't ever stop studying, right? You never stop learning.